and welcome to another episode of the Marco Podcast.
A show dedicated to the realness of organization and entrepreneurship. This space was created for every woman who needs motivation or inspiration to get organized and to keep going after her dream. I'm your host, Angel J. Sit back and prepare for valuable tips, resources, laugh, and much more. If this is your first time here, welcome and thanks for joining. If you've been hanging around for a while, welcome back, and I hope you brought a friend. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. Today, I want to talk about how having a concussion has affected my organization. So, on January 18th of this year, I was involved in a car accident. I was rear-ended on the way to go pick up my son. He was in the car. It was just me in the car. And one of the injuries that I sustained from the accident was a mild concussion. How they deal with keep getting them over and over again. Like, this is, if you've ever had a hangover, like having a concussion is like 1,000 times worse than like the worst hangover you've ever had. I even told someone I would rather have a hangover than to have a concussion. And this is a mild concussion. So I don't even want to imagine what a severe concussion would feel like or the effects of it. And definitely not continuing to get one over and over, because just having this mild concussion has affected me so much. I didn't even know it was possible, but I mean, of course it makes sense because it's your brain, like it's your, it's your command center that got injured. So it has definitely been some trials and some tribulations. Like, I forget stuff. And when I say I forget stuff, like I'll literally be mid-sentence talking and I will just pause because I forgot what I was talking about, like in the middle of a conversation, like completely just like, what was I saying? What was I talking about just now? I will be in the middle of doing something like sitting down and writing something or sitting down and like typing something, and I'll just stop because I was like, well, what was I doing? And whatever it is that I was doing is literally sitting right in front of me. I am looking at it and I cannot remember what it is that I was doing. And I mean, I've been like holding something in my hand and I'm like, why is this in my hand? What is this doing in my hand? What was I going to do with this? And it could be something as simple as like the remote that I'm like, why? What was I going to do with this? Like, what is this for? So it has definitely been like just something that I have never experienced before and that I never want to experience again. I can't even remember what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. And then obviously we rely on like our phones and computers and stuff a lot, and with having a concussion you have to reduce your screen time. Like, you can't be looking at TVs and computer screens and your phone screens because the lights and stuff from it just makes it worse. And so it happened on a Thursday afternoon. So I was out of work like that Friday. Of course, Saturday and Sunday you don't go to work. And then that Monday I didn't go to work. And I like really, minimized my time on like using my phone. I only picked up my phone if I absolutely had to. Um, Same thing with the computer. I didn't even watch TV. And when like 65, 70 emails, and I just couldn't even check the emails. Like the notifications just had to sit there because I did not have the capacity to sit there and be able to look through all those emails. I just couldn't do it. So y'all know that drove me crazy having all those emails there whenever I did have to like pick up my phone to make a phone call or something like that. Just seeing all those notifications, not even for my email, but for everything else, just drove me completely Looney Tunes. And so then I did go back to work like that Tuesday after the accident, but I ended up leaving work early like all that week because I was sitting at work at the dark, taking like frequent breaks from the computer. My head was throbbing, my ear was throbbing, not to mention my other pains that I had going on. Then when I finally got in to see my primary care doctor, she like wrote me out of work for a week and she's like, yeah, no, you can't. And that was just honestly the best thing ever, because another thing with a concussion, you're so sleepy. Like, I just always would think about that meme with the little girl and it's like a beach or something like that. And she's like, I take nap right here. And that's just how I felt. It's just like, I'll take a nap right here. And it wasn't like a tired feeling. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I was just like drained of my energy or anything like that. It's just like, oh, I just need to sleep. Like, I just need to lay here and sleep. And sleep, I did. Like, I slept like a newborn baby, probably. I was just on, I would get up to use the bathroom and eat, maybe eat. But other than that, I was probably just knocked out sleep. So some things that I've been doing, like they were things that I've already done before, but I've been like more intense with them now. So when the first 2 weeks, like I was really trying to like just make sure that I wrote stuff down. Like my 3 planners that I told you all about, they came they came in handy because I did have like a lot of notes and stuff like that written down in them, and I was making notes in my planners. I was like, oh, thank God that I never did go to a digital planner because I wouldn't really be able to use it right now. I was using Siri to like set reminders. I would even use like Siri to send like text messages to people just so that I didn't have to like look at the phone to send the text message if I needed to send it. But I've definitely had to like prioritize things that I needed to do because obviously I got behind on stuff. Like I got behind on podcast editing. I had to reschedule meetings that I had with people. I had to reschedule like podcast interviews that I had with people. I had some other stuff going on in my business that I had to push to the side or like push to the back burner. And it's so crazy because the day that I got into the accident, I was actually launching a masterclass the following day, and the system that I was using, and I had just got like everything finished with changing it over. And I was like, okay, I'll put the like final touches and tweaks on it like Thursday evening when I get home. And then Thursday evening, I got into the accident. So I'm glad that that was done, or that would have had to probably been like pushed back. It's organizing tips that I've talked about before, like prioritizing. When I make my list, I definitely have to prioritize like planning, like making sure that I'm planning the stuff that I need for my business and then for my house and all of that. And I'm almost, y'all, to the point where I feel like I just need to have like sticky notes all over the place that says, do this now. Because like I said, I can be, how everybody makes the joke of, oh, I went downstairs and I forgot what I needed. And so then I remember something I need upstairs. So I went back upstairs and then I remember what it was that I went downstairs for. Well, I can be standing in the pantry and be like, oh, I need to get the ketchup. And then 2 seconds later, I'm like, I know on like, I think an upcoming episode that I have coming out, you can kind of hear me like stumbling over my words some and just kind of sounding like not myself and a little discombobulated. And you really have to limit distractions even more so, because if I get distracted while I'm in the middle of doing something, it's not like before, which is like, okay, I got distracted, I can just pick back up. Like, I can't just pick back up because it's going to take me a couple of minutes I have to like conserve my energy as well. The day that I'm recording this episode is like we're gonna straighten up some, get everything organized, and we had probably like two three baskets of laundry that needed to be folded. So my husband went to the grocery store and I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to fold the clothes. And we had been out that morning, we had went to breakfast, and then we had went car shopping because I had to get a new car too, yay. Hopefully by the time this episode comes out, I will have a new car because my car was totaled in the accident. So yeah, so we had returned the rental car, went and looked at new cars, and then we went to breakfast, and I think we like ran some errands and came back home, and I was like, all right, I'll fold the clothes and start like straightening up stuff around the house. And it probably took me like an hour maybe to fold the clothes because I was stopping in between it, like helping my son with stuff. He was cleaning up his stuff and then writing out his Valentine's Day cards. And after that, I was just like, I'm done. I need a nap. And I could tell that my son was like super sleepy too. He was about to fall asleep on the floor. And I was like, well, you want to come down? You want to come and take a nap with mommy? And I was actually shocked because normally he's like, I don't need a nap, mommy. But he was like, yeah, sure. So we laid down and we took a nap. And I was like, okay. At first, when I was going to take my nap, I was like, I'm only going to sleep for like an hour and a half because we had plans to do our family game. And I was like, I'm only going to sleep for like an hour and a half. But when my son laid down with me, I didn't set an alarm because I was like, oh, well, he's definitely not going to sleep that long. So he'll wake me up probably in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Wrong. We slept for almost 3 hours. I think we went to sleep at like 3 o'clock, a little after 3 o'clock. Y'all woke up. It was like 5:45. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But it's just really about like conserving your energy. I mean, after I finish a task or doing something, a lot of times I'm just like, okay, I'm sleepy now. I need to go and take a nap. And that's just what I do. Like, I just go and take a nap. The first 2 weeks of it, I mean, like I said, I would literally get up, go back to sleep. And I am sorry, y'all, that I am probably repeating myself. I will try to edit out a lot of repeats when I go back and listen. Like I said, I can't always remember what it is that I just said, but the organizational skills that I had, prior to the concussion, like they've really come into handy. They've really been handy. And so then, whenever I do feel up to, maybe like looking at the computer screen or something like that, then I'll try to go in and like make sure I'm checking my emails, checking like my schedule and stuff, updating my calendar as I need to, updating like my task manager. And again, I'm glad that I'm still like one of those people who uses pen and paper sometimes, because I've had some other things that I have going on. And I talked about it in my episode, what I'm using to stay organized this year, that I've been using Asana, but I do still like write down stuff. So I've been able to like check that off. And then when I feel up to it, I'll go into Asana and I'll update it. But this has just been a really challenging time. And so that's what I'm currently dealing with right now. And I've told you all this before. My cousin, she's a nurse. She's my favorite nurse. And her son actually went to school. Like, that was what he studied. He studied like sports science, sport medicine. I think he studied sport medicine. She'll call me out, let me know if I'm wrong, but like concussions was one of the things that he studied. And I was talking to them. There's like the effects of it can last for a month or longer. And my doctor, of course, told me the same thing. And I was just like, wow, a more serious concussion. So it has definitely affected me. I am praying that there are no lasting effects from it, but this is where I am at now. So if you are someone that like knows me personally, that I like interact with a lot, if you see me out and about and I'm a little discombobulated, or I'm having trouble getting things out, this is why. But yeah, so this is where I'm at now. This is how my life is going at the moment. I'm very grateful that I have a great support system that is here for me and that is helping me through it. And so I thank you all. And I will. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Modco podcast. I hope that you enjoyed this episode and learned something from it. Be sure to share this episode with a friend, family member, colleague, or anyone you think will enjoy it. Make sure you hit the follow or subscribe button. And if you love the podcast, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on your favorite podcasting app. That helps others to find us and gets us listed in other show recommendations. So you all know that I run on coffee, and so does the show. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, you can do so by clicking on the link in the show notes. Thank you so much, and chat soon.